Go English.
Hello, everyone. This is Tom Painter again. I've got my good friend, Mr. Kurt Mortensen, is in the house. We're going to be talking about sales. Now, sales is not taking someone and grinding them into your deal. Sales is solving problems, flat out. If you want to help somebody find out what their problems are and help solve them. We're going to be talking about that today. I've got Kurt Mortensen in the house. Kurt, if you're there, come on out. I see that you got your slide up. Let's go ahead and start with Kurt. We're going to be talking about sales. Go ahead, Kurt.
Hey, all right, welcome to Sales School number 4. Kurt Mortensen here. This is a Success and Money Foundation. This is the place to learn the skills, everything you need to know to not only sell, to run a business, to invest, to get out of debt. This is the place to be. Make sure you're telling your family and friends about what's going on, what's happening. It's critical because everything you need is right here. It's like if you're going to play a football game, a soccer game, any sport, right? We're providing the plays, we're providing the coaches, we're providing the ball, we're cheering for you. But of course, when you get the ball, you've got to kick it, you got to throw it, you got to do something with it, make it happen. Thanks for being here. We've talked a lot about the importance of sales and persuasion and influence. We talked about some of the common blunders, mistakes that people make. We went into how to connect with people. That was last week. Hopefully you did the homework. How to build trust. This time we're going to be talking about, all right, what do you need to add to this? I'm going to call it your pre-sales, pre-persuasion checklist, because the more you're prepared, the easier it is to sell. Right? You don't want to go into a situation and vomit the 17 reasons they should do it, show up and throw up, whatever you want to call it, the data dump. That doesn't work. They need to know that you're engaged because prospects don't want to feel that they're just another number, one size fits all. They want to know that you understand them. Great salespeople, it's no secret, we talked about this, ask 3 times more questions. Great salespeople are now, big shift, more introverted than extroverted, right? Introverts listen, they can consult. Extroverts are salesy, they're pushy. That's a big difference. And you can learn to listen. When you learn to listen, ask the right questions, be prepared, they'll tell you everything you need to know to persuade them to sell them. I mean, for example, what if you went to a doctor, weren't feeling well, nurse is taking your vitals, all right. Nurse leaves, doctor comes in a little bit later, opens the door, just stands in the doorway. Says, I know what's going around, I know what you have, your prescription, everything you need is at the front desk, thanks for coming in, and shut the door. Now, how would you feel? Even if the doctor was 100% correct, saved you 10 minutes of time, questions, solved your problem, solved your sickness, you're feeling a little like, whoa, 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 whoa. Do they really get it? Do they really understand? That's why the listening, the eye contact, the questions, doing your research ahead of time is so critical to what you need to do in the world of sales. So let's get into the pre-sales checklist. And notice I said pre. This is before. In negotiation training, what we teach is that when those emotions hit, things start to happen, you fall to your highest level of preparation. Meaning, even in negotiation, you're going to pay with your time up front or lost money in the back end. The same thing's true with sales. You're going to lose. I know you're busy, but if you can prepare a little bit up front, you're going to close more sales. You're going to be a better salesperson, better persuader. That's just how it is. So again, you're going to pay with your time or your money. So I'd rather have you pay with your time up front than losing the sale on the back end because you usually only get 1 or 2 shots, probably just one. First impressions, the cement dries fast as we talked about last time. That's the key. So I call this the WWW. This is your pre-sales checklist. Just like the internet, www, right? World Wide Web. I'm going to use the same W's just to kind of help you think. Some of the questions you should ask yourself before you talk to somebody, before you try to sell somebody, and that's the key. So the first one is the what. What is your offer? What is your objective? What is your goal? You don't go try to persuade or sell somebody unless, all right, what's the goal of this meeting? What's the goal of this presentation? Is it a sale? Is it another meeting? Is it a signed contract? What is it that you want? Is it a meeting with the decision maker? You have to decide before you even go in there, what's your ultimate goal of this meeting? What is it you want to accomplish? And that's true with any persuasive or sales presentation. You have to decide before you even create a presentation, what do you want them to do? What is your call to action? What is your close? What is it you want them to do? Because everything you do as you prepare is going to point to that, so it doesn't surprise them when you ask them to buy, to purchase, to do something. That's the key. Next one is, what do you want them to believe? What is your goal here? What do you want them to believe, take away? That's close to the close, your call to action, but what do you really want them to believe about you, your product, your service? That you're the best, you're the most trustworthy, that price is not an issue, that this is going to solve their problem. Fill in the blank here. What do you want them to believe? Next one, very close to what we've been talking about. What do you want them to do? This is also part of your call to action. Now, there might be steps along the way of what you want them to do, but you have to decide ahead of time. You're just not there to data dump to talk about the 27 reasons it's so important to do business with you. What do you want them to do and believe? The other one, what problem will it solve? And you might not know up front exactly what their problems are, but you probably get a good idea if you can send a quiz, a survey, interview, find out what's going on in that industry, that business. What problem will this solve? You're a problem solver. As Tom Painter says, the bigger the problem you can solve, the more you can charge, the more they're willing to invest. So that is the what. Now let's get into the who. Who is your target audience? Who is your demographic? You need to know. You can't say, well, everybody needs my product service. That could be true, but you need to narrow in on the people that are more likely to buy. When you bait that hook, what fish is more likely to bait or pick a bite of that hook that you can catch? So when you take a look at this, who's your target audience? The majority of them. Male, female? Is it a religious background? Are they wealthy, middle income, poverty? It could be political beliefs. It could be age. It could be education. A variety of things. Do as much research as you can. Who is the majority? It's always the majority, not everybody. The majority of the people that are going to purchase your product. Is it a young age group, an old age group? Is it a family? Is it a single person? You need to do that research to figure out, okay, who that is. And that can help you target into the person and narrow down your marketing. That's the key, the demographics. Who is your target audience? You can go into psychographics. You probably don't need to go that far. You know how your consumer, your prospect thinks. But get to know as much about them as possible because it's going to help you sell them, but it's also going to help in the marketing arena. Next, what is your audience's current beliefs about your industry, about you, about your product or service? You have to take a look at it. There's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of misinformation, a lot of myths out there. What are their true beliefs? We're not talking about whether it's true or not. That's irrelevant here. It's true to them. So you're doing a little research, figuring out, okay, what do they really believe? Do they believe that you're too expensive, too inexpensive, that they don't need it, that they can solve the problem on their own, that that's for other people? A lot of people think that with products and services. Well, that'll help somebody else, but not me. How can you get in there, get into their brain? The more prep you can do, the better you are in sales. Next one, close to beliefs. What's their current perception? Now this broadens it a little bit more. Maybe the industry has a bad name. The product or service has a bad name. Maybe they've heard things that have happened, people have been taken advantage of. That can definitely be a challenge. So think about those. So we've talked about the what. We've talked about the who. The next one is the whift. All right? What's in it for them? How's this going to benefit them? We've talked about that. But let's expand that. It's not only what's in it for them, maybe what's in it for the team. That could be the organization. That could be the community. What's in for the tribe, we'll call it. Keep it with the T's. That could be the country. That could be the company. The more of these you can identify, the easier it is to sell and persuade. Now, obviously start with what's in it for them. They're going to look good. They're going to make more money, have job security, save time, have more obedient children, make more money, sleep better at night. What's in it for them? Then, of course, the team. That could be the department. That could be the community. So for Giving Blood, for example, what's in it for them? Do you know this? That You give blood, it's actually healthy. It's like changing oil on a car. For men, it reduces chances of heart attack like by 80%. It burns 500 calories or more just for sitting there. Reduces the chances of cancer. I mean, we go down the list. That's what's in it for them. What's in it for the community? Well, you're saving lives. What's in it for the country or the company? Well, the company's going to look good. The country's going to be healthier. Put those into perspective. You got to take a deep dive. What's in it for them? What's in it for the team or the community or department? What's in it for the company or country? The more those you identify, the more persuasive and the more you can sell. So how can you make this personal? I mean, really, how can you make it come alive? So the way you do that, to make it personal, is you got to make the problem their problem. You may not realize that they have a problem. You've got to expose the pain that they have a problem, and I'd put a number on it. You have to expand the gap. Because a lot of people think the pain's like this. It's not that big of a deal. No. You've lost millions of dollars. No, you're going to die 10 years early. Whatever it is, you have to describe that in those. So expand the gap. It's okay to build a little pain, expose a little fear. I'm okay with that. Even a dentist will say only floss the teeth you want to keep. Some people are only motivated by fear. So let them know, what's the pain? What's the challenge? What's the problem here? What's the gap? How much money have you lost? Your health, your relationships. That's critical to think through before you go and try to sell somebody. So is there a pain to trigger here? Fear's not your best motivator, but is there some type of pain here that you can help them realize, no, I need to make a decision? I mean, your goal here is to make their current pain bigger than their future pain. So if they don't do anything now, that's a bigger fear or bigger pain than the future. It's better. It's going to be solved. It's going to save money in the future. So when you do use fear or desperation, so let me just say this. When you do use those, there's two motivators in life, inspiration and desperation. Now, desperation is very short term, but some people are only motivated by desperation. Most people aren't buying life insurance out of inspiration. They're more, what if something happens now? So if you're going to use fear or desperation or pain, make sure, I'm okay with that, you buffer that with some type of the future. Right? The future vision, how it's going to accomplish, how they're going to be better, that inspiration, things are going to be better. That's okay to use if you do it that way. This is the key. This works. I've trained thousands of salespeople in my life, and a little preparation up front makes a huge difference. Man, when you're prepared and they like you and trust you, woo, sales is easy. I promise you that it's easy. Anybody can get better at these skills. So let's do homework. Let's talk about this, things you can do. And you don't always have to use all these questions. Pick the ones that work best for you to think about, to ask, to get the information you need. So you're doing all the preparation up front, but then even during that sales interview, you're going to find out some other things that you need to understand, to know, to close the sale. First one, great question to ask ahead of time while you're there. Hey, what's your number one challenge right now? So that's a great question that you can ask that's very, very helpful. Now, overused and abused is what's keeping you up at night. Okay, that is abused, but the concept there is solid as far as, all right, what's the pain, what's going on, what's keeping you up? Next one, what's the biggest thing costing you money? What is that biggest thing costing you money? And people know what that is. That's the thing keeping them up at night also. So let's talk about, what is that thing? What is the one thing we can solve, that one big problem that's going to make sure you don't lose that money anymore? Next one, what is preventing you from doubling your sales? And this is probably more for the entrepreneurial type, the sales type, small business owners. They know that they've got to double, triple their sales usually every year to get the growth that they're looking for. Another one, what's important about? Fill in the blank here, find out what's going on. That's another way to dig. It's almost like you're peeling the layers of the onion back to find out what's really going on, what's really happening. Plus, you come across as a consultant. You're asking questions, so they're telling you everything you need to know to sell them, but now they feel understood. Now, like the doctor example in the beginning, They feel understood, you get them, and now you can provide the solution. My favorite, if I showed you the perfect solution, what would that look like? The genie appeared and made it all right, all look good. Explain that to me, describe that to me. Let them get to that solution. They're going to tell you the solution, and ding, 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 you are the solution with your product, your service, your idea. Another one, how are you currently using? That's where you want to fill in the blank here again to figure out, are they using it? Are they happy with? You might even want to expand that. So your current supplier, what are the 3 things you like? What are the 3 things they could do better? Going to give you the information that you need. Another one, if I could show you a way to fill in the blank, would that solve? You fill in the blanks here, whatever you're doing, adapt, customize, then you're getting closer to finding out exactly what they're looking for, what they want, what they need. Can you solve their problem? Final one, how would you like to make an extra, fill in the blank here, $1,000 a month, $10,000 a year? And it doesn't have to be money, it could be anything. How would you like it to be more alert and sleep an hour less a day? How would you like, fill in the blank here, that is the key. Those are the questions that you can be very helpful that you need to go through. So here's the homework. Make sure you do it. Remember, you're going to pay with your time up front or lost sales. You get to choose. I know you're busy, but be prepared, think it through. And here's the good news. It gets quicker, easier, and faster the more you do this. The more you do this, the more you learn to ask the questions, to listen, to have the eye contact, the more you do research. And there's so many different ways to do research on the internet, to talk to someone that's done business with them before, social media. There's a lot of different things. The corporate website, any of those things can be very, very helpful to you, but it's all about understanding how this works. You remember the story? 2 people living in cabins in the mountains, 2 guys, very competitive. They decide to have a contest. Hey, guys are competitive. It's who could chop down the most trees for the firewood. Winter's coming. And so they decide to have a contest. An hour-long contest. Whoever chops the most wood wins this pot of cash, we'll say. So the first neighbor's like, all right, I've got this. But the second neighbor's like, no way. I'm winning this no matter what. Nobody can work harder than I can work. So what happens? First neighbors, they both start chopping, and the second neighbor looks over about 15 minutes later, and the first neighbor's leaning against the tree. Like, oh, he's lazy. The second neighbor's like, I've got this. They look back over again a little bit later, chopping wood again. The first neighbor was. Second neighbor looks over again a little bit later and found again sitting against the tree. It's like, I've got this. So the end of the contest, hours over, they compared how much wood they chopped. And the first neighbor, the one leaning against the tree, chopped almost twice as much wood as the second neighbor. The second neighbor, that's impossible. What's going on? You were leaning against the tree. You were sitting there. And the first neighbor says, I wasn't just sitting there. I was sharpening my axe. So it's not about just working hard. It's working smart, doing your research, being prepared, knowing your competitor, getting into the shoes of your prospect. Then you can sell like a mad person. You can sell, you can persuade, you can influence. That's the key. So do your homework, go through that. It's worth the time. It is definitely worth the time to be able to do this. You think it might be a waste of time, but no, you're investing in yourself. You're investing in the relationship. Do it, make it happen, change your life, become better at sales, and go out and make the world a better place.
Thanks, Kurt. It's always wonderful to have Kurt in the house and talking about sales. And remember, sales is about solving problems. Sales is about solving problems. So that's what our goal is to go out there and make a huge difference in people's lives. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned. We're going to say goodbye from our friends that are watching us over social media. And again, as a reminder, you can watch these classes later if you go to facebook.com and then simply search Success and Money Academy. Success and Money Academy. And all these classes, about 2 hours of classes every week, will be there. This is in addition to everything you have access to on our foundation. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.